There are moments in life when nothing makes sense, when it doesn't matter how skilled you are, how hard you've worked, or how deeply you've prepared, things still go wrong. These moments come uninvited and unexpected, as if life itself has chosen to test your foundation. Not everything that happens to you will be fair. Not every setback comes with a reason. Some storms arrive without warning, leaving you to figure out how to survive in the aftermath. And yet every storm carries within it a decision, not about the storm itself, because no one gets to choose the winds that blow against them, but about what comes next. Will you stay down, broken by the weight of what happened? Or will you find something inside that refuses to bend? Pain is part of the process. It's part of living. Some carry emotional wounds so deep they leave no visible scars but cut all the same. Others are shattered spiritually, confused and drained, wondering if their strength has limits. For some, it's financial pressure, the quiet fear that whispers, "You're failing." For others, it's the collapse of a relationship, a betrayal, or the deep ache of loneliness. And yes, you can break in body, in mind, in heart, in spirit. But there's something most people miss. Brokenness doesn't always equal defeat. Every scar tells a story. Every crack in your armor is a sign you fought and survived. The pain you feel can leave behind something powerful, something unshakable, because it's not the breaking that defines you. It's what you do while you're broken, what you choose in that vulnerable, raw space between collapse and comeback. That space is where strength is built. The world may not see what you're going through. It might look like you've got everything together, but inside you might be walking through a valley, a quiet, dark place between two voices. One voice whispers fear, doubt, and excuses. It tells you to quit, to retreat, to surrender. The other voice, quieter but steady, speaks of hope. It urges patience, growth, and the kind of courage that doesn't need to shout to be real. That's the voice of resilience. That's the voice you must choose to follow. Every setback is a fork in the road. One path leads to retreat, the easy route, the one lined with comfort and resignation. The other leads to grit, to discipline, to getting back up, even if you're doing it slowly, one painful inch at a time. That second path, it's not popular, but it's the one where champions are made. If you're listening to this, you're likely in the fight. Maybe you're trying to rebuild something you lost. Maybe you're chasing a dream that keeps slipping away. Or maybe you're just trying to get through the day with your head held high. Wherever you are, remember this: strength isn't loud. It doesn't always look like confidence. Sometimes strength is just continuing. It's making the decision to not stop. Not today. Pain is a teacher. It doesn't always speak in words, but it always leaves a lesson. When life knocks you down, don't waste the lesson by staying there. Use it. Grow from it. Let it shape you, not define you. There is power in being able to say, "This didn't break me. It built me." You won't always have motivation. You won't always have a crowd cheering you on. Sometimes it's just you, alone with your thoughts, dragging yourself towards something better. That's when your will becomes your weapon. Your reason becomes your fuel. So ask yourself, what is your reason? What are you fighting for? A dream? A family? A future you haven't met yet? Whatever it is, hold on to it. Let it anchor you when the winds rise. Let it be the flame that stays lit even in the storm. The moment you find a reason to keep going, you've taken the first step to winning. Because when people fall, and they will, not everyone gets back up. But those who do, they rise differently, stronger, wiser, sharper, because they remember the cost. They remember how much it hurt and what it took to keep going. And that memory becomes armor. Struggles will visit everyone. That's a promise life keeps. But suffering is a choice. You decide whether you sit with pain or stand with purpose. You choose whether to be defined by your wounds or refined by them. The fight is not over just because you're tired. The fight is not over because you're bruised. In fact, the fight has just begun. Now is your moment to show yourself what you're made of, to reveal the iron behind your smile and the fire behind your silence. Now is the time to let the world see not the hurt, but the hunger, the desire, the resolve. No illness, no failure, no heartbreak is the end of your story. Your story is still being written, page by page, choice by choice. Stand tall even if your knees shake. Speak hope even if your voice trembles. Move forward even if it's with a limp. You don't need permission to heal. You don't need anyone's approval to begin again. There are no perfect conditions for rebuilding. You start with what you have, where you are. You take one breath, then another. One step, then another. And eventually, you look back and realize the ground you covered was far greater than you imagined. You don't have to be fearless. You just have to move despite the fear. There will be days when nothing works, when every effort seems wasted, when all you want to do is quit. But quitting doesn't erase the pain. It just passes it forward. Quitting turns setbacks into stories of regret. Persistence turns setbacks into fuel for greatness. This isn't about talent. It's not about background or circumstances. This is about refusing to stay broken. This is about digging deep when you're already empty. It's about the unshakable decision to endure, to outlast, to rise. What defines people isn't how they shine when the spotlight is on them. It's how they move in the shadows, how they respond in the silence when no one is watching. It's the quiet discipline, the daily effort, the steady resolve. That's where greatness grows. In the dark, in the pressure, in the silence. You have within you a power greater than any struggle. You might not feel it every day, but it's there, waiting, ready. And the moment you stop doubting, the moment you start believing, you awaken that power. Don't let your situation define you. Let your response shape you. Stand in the storm. Let it howl. Let it beat on you. And when it passes, stand taller, not smaller, because you didn't run, you didn't fold. You remained unbroken.